And if this unit is not dismantled, we'll be giving the name of the building and the full names of that officer and his cousin in this administration. And these people are not answerable to the Inspector General of Police. Your guess is as good as mine as to who is the commander of that unit.
Mr. William Ruto is the chief commander of the abduction squad.
Nimemwambia rafiki yangu huyu Ruto, ili mambo ya vijana kushika hovyo hovyo na kupigwa pingo na kuweka mahali na kuteswa ikome kabisa.
All the people who disappeared have, or who are abducted in what you said, all of them have been brought back to their families and to their homes. And I have given clarity and firm instructions that nothing of that kind of nature will happen again.
Watch it together, Your Excellency. Let's watch this video.
Sell them to the people of Kenya. There are enough intelligent people in Kenya to differentiate what is good from what is better and what is best.
Ni jambo mbaya sana kama tutatumia askari polisi. Hapo na maoni tofauti ya kisiasa.
Waeleza ya kwamba these people don't understand the damage they are doing to the people and the economy of Kenya.
All right. Yes, the video in contention here was recorded earlier today.
Yes.
That of former MP Alfred Keter being abducted in broad daylight. Mr. President, before you even talk about the entire incident, the children were screaming, and the sound that we believe belongs to the wife was also heard, screaming in distress. How does that make you feel?
Three things. I have told you, I made a deliberate decision to make sure that the police operate independently. That's number one. Number two, I have told you, if the police summon Linus Kaikai, and Linus Kaikai refuses to go to the police, are the police not entitled to come and look for you? When the police come to arrest you after they have summoned you and you didn't show up, is that an abduction?
So let's have this as a confirmation.
No, I'm just asking you.
Let's have this as a confirmation, Your Excellency, that Alfred Keter was summoned by police. He refused to
the police have
respond to
issued
the
a
summons.
statement. I would suggest, instead of us having a back and forth, the police have released a statement. Can you check what the police have released, the statement?
And you still not answered my question.
Which
the
was?
wife and children screaming that way.
I mean,
how do you feel, Your Excellency?
I mean, my friend, every child, every mother feels the same when their parent is under attack. I mean, that is what it is. But let me ask you, what about the children? What about the children of those who have lost their lives because of the criminality of others? Don't they feel the same? So we just need to be a country of the rule of law. Impunity cuts both ways. Those who respect the law must be protected by the law. Those who do not respect the law must face the full force of the law. That's how it operates. That's how we will have a society.
Here is
the same way we must condemn excessive use of police powers, but we must equally deal firmly and decisively with criminals who put the lives of other Kenyans in danger, destroy property of hard-earned earnings. There are many people, Linus, in this demonstration that have lost livelihoods, that today their children are crying. today their wives are in tears because they don't know how to face tomorrow.
Mr. President,
their businesses have been wiped out.
Yeah.
Their incomes have been destroyed. I have just told you 2.4 billion shillings worth
I
of
hear you,
business
Excellency.
has been destroyed.
I hear you,
and
Excellency.
today, as I talk to you this evening, there are families who have tears. There are families who do not know how to face tomorrow.
And I've asked you very specifically, President, how do you feel about those tears, especially of those who have been killed
it's horrible.
by police bullets?
It is horrible. It is horrible. When you find a situation where people are grieving, whether they are grieving because their parents have been arrested, or they are grieving because their hard-earned earnings of many years, monies there I have on my phone. People who are saying, I borrowed money. My whole loan has been wiped out. My whole barbershop has been destroyed. My whole hardware has been looted and burnt. And they are in tears. So I must equally work with the police to protect all these citizens. And it cuts both ways, Linus. It cuts both ways.
Using the rule of law.
Absolutely.
Let me take you to just step by step.
Absolutely. The rule of
The
law.
rule of law says.
Kenyans, 2024 will be remembered as a very difficult and painful season. The year, and in particular June 25th, will also be recognized as a year young Kenyans impeached Parliament and brought to life the articles of the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya. It will be recalled that in June, Kenyan youth, Gen Zs, and millennials set aside their laptops and armchairs to occupy our Republic cities, towns, and streets in unprecedented numbers. They armed themselves with phones, water bottles, and our Republic's flag to oppose William Ruto's regime's arrogance and intransigence, typified by the unfavorable, invasive, and irredeemable Finance Bill 2024. How did this so-called Kenya Kwanza government respond to their cries? They clobbered our Gen Zs and millennials with open abandon. They unleashed torrents of tear gas canisters into unarmed crowds of peaceful protesters. Shockingly, they fired indiscriminately live bullets into the crowd of non-violent demonstrators, killing one too many of our law-abiding youth and injuring far too many. Kenyans will remember the first to fall was Rex Masai. Up to date, not one security agent has been charged with these heinous and illegal atrocities against humanity. And in the case of Rex Masai, you'll have noticed an attempt at an inquest. An inquest is not a criminal proceeding. It is just an inquest, a way of trying to make it easy for the culprits to escape. To compound this brazen criminality, the Ruto regime embarked with shocking familiarity the practice of abducting our youth just because they expressed their opinion, drew pictures, created artwork widely shared on social media that Mr. Ruto did not like. This terrible practice of abduction by hooded brutes is reminiscent of the dreaded Adolf Hitler's Nazi militias. Up to date, and given that none of these balaclava-wearing gangsters captured clearly on CCTV have been arrested, there can only be one conclusion. They received the instructions directly from State House Nairobi. Let us not pretend about this. What is clear, no matter the type of whitewashing, chest-thumping, and sugarcoating Mr. Ruto's misguided social media gang attempts to do by sponsoring all manner of hashtags, is that Mr. William Ruto is the chief commander of the abduction squad. We demand that all 82 youth who have been abducted in the last 3 months be released and returned to their families immediately. Some have actually been abducted as recently as yesterday. We also demand that all 29 missing youth whose whereabouts are unaccounted for be accounted for forthwith. If any of them will have been killed, the blame will be squarely on Kenya Kwanza regime.
Action of Kisa Besige from Uganda, who was abducted in Nairobi when coming to attend my book launch. We now know it's Ugandan military who abducted him from Kenya. There is no way foreign military or neighboring military can come in, get somebody and move past the border with him without the authority from the highest office. It therefore means that William Ruto did sanction that abduction. And they cannot claim that it's cooperation between Kenya and Uganda. Countries must cooperate within the law, not like Jambazi. That abduction was gangster style. We are reminding William Ruto that Kenya has a constitution, and we are demanding that all abducted persons be released forthwith to celebrate the festivities with their families.
And if this unit is not dismantled, we'll be giving the name of the building and the full names of that officer and his cousin in this administration. And these people are not answerable to the Inspector General of Police. Your guess is as good as mine as to who is the commander of that unit. Let me emphasize that killing our children will not quell the anger of the Kenyan people. People are very angry with this administration. Abducting young people is not a solution. You must address the cause of the disquiet, of the discontent. Why are people aggrieved with this administration? That must be dealt with. Abducting these children and killing them is not a solution. And I must remind my friend and brother, Dr. William Ruto, that since independence, no government has ever gone for children. This is the first administration in the history of this country to target children for repression and persecution. Even the colonial administration, brutal as it was, it never went for the children. And the question the president must address is simple. Why has everybody turned against you and the administration in only 2 years? That is what you need to interrogate instead of persecuting these children. Again, he must understand the law of nature. Nature abhors vacuum. When you swallow the opposition and there is nobody to hold you to account, when you capture parliament and other institutions of oversight, since nature abhors vacuum, other formations will emerge to oversight you and hold you to account. And that is how the church has come up to hold the government to account. And that is how these young Kenyans have come out to hold the government to account. In the unfortunate event that these children were to be muzzled and silenced through death and abductions, another extrajudicial methods of silencing dissent. Some new formations will also come up to hold the government in check because nature abhors vacuum.
Watoto wetu ni jukumu letu. And as I have said, and I want to say this without fear of any contradiction, and to tell us as parents, us as teachers, us as a nation and leaders, religious organizations, and everybody, that we cannot run away. We cannot abandon our children to their designs. It is our responsibility. Our children, the children of Kenya, is our responsibility. We cannot run away from that responsibility. It is up to us to make sure that they get good education. It is up to us to make sure that they get good mentorship, that they are of good character, and that they stand for the right things, and that we plan for them also to get jobs, to be engaged, to do business, and to thrive and to flourish. That is how we are going to have the next generation of Kenyans. Kwa hivyo, nawauliza viongozi, tafadhali, na wazazi vile vile. Sote sisi tuko na majukumu kwa watoto wetu. Musikubali watoto wetu wapotee. Musikubali hawa watoto wetu tunawapenda. Muwaite majina mnataka, muwaite Gen Z. These are our children. And we are responsible for them. Because it is our responsibility to make sure that they get good education, they get good mentorship, they are of good character. We plan for them how they are going to get jobs, how they are going to do business, and how they are going to succeed. Because their success is the success of our country.
Hatutaki kuona dhambi ikiruka inaenda mwaka mpya. Bado vijana wetu wote wawe salama. Nimemwambia rafiki yangu huyu Ruto, ile mambo ya vijana kushika hovyo na kupigwa pingo na kuweka mahali na kuteswa ikome kabisa. Isiendelee. Wale ambao wanafanya mambo kama haya washikwe, wanaswe na wawekwe ndani.
Nataka niulize wazazi, kila mzazi tafadhali, hawa watoto ni baraka kwetu, tumepatiwa na Mwenyezi Mungu. Kila mzazi achunge watoto wake, tuweke kushughulikia watoto wetu. Sisi kama serikali tutafanya sehemu yetu, na yale yamesemekana mambo ya abduction tutakomesha, ndio vijana wa Kenya waweze kuishi kwa amani, na vile vile wawe na nidhamu na wawe wangwana, tuweze kujenga Kenya tukiwa pamoja.
Hello, I'm Eva Eronen from YLA Finnish Broadcasting Company. According to rights groups, dozens of people were killed during last year's protest, and also there have been enforced disappearances and many are still missing. Your Excellency, President William Ruto, what is the Kenyan government doing to ensure such violations will not happen again?
Thank you very much for asking that question. I know that it will be a subject of discussion between my guests here with members of the civil society and other members of the Kenyan society. The statistics are arguable this way or the other way, but that does not take away from the issues that have been raised around what happened on the dates you have mentioned. There are three things that I can speak to it. Number one is that there is an accountability mechanism to make sure that that situation is attended to, and a proper accountability mechanism is put in place. That's number one. Number two is the fact that I undertook to the country that being a democracy, and robustly so, that Kenyans must not, as has happened in the past, where Kenyans disappeared, and their bodies were found in all manner of places, that will not happen under my administration. And all the people who disappeared or who were abducted in what you said, all of them have been brought back to their families and to their homes. And I have given clarity and firm instructions that nothing of that kind of nature will happen again, and that it was my commitment as I became president that extrajudicial disappearances of Kenyans will not be part of what we are doing as a nation.